Hi guys, and welcome back to Winding Racing. This morning I am back on the golf cart project, and what I'm going to be doing is securing the floor to the frame. I did just cut it and I laid it in there, and I got all sorts of stuff mounted to it which you can't see because I got to pull the seat out, which I'll be doing right now. We got the brakes. I did tack this because, as I explained in a past video, you work the brakes and it actually buckled the floor. So got that, so that's tight. And now I got the shifting mechanism all mounted down, and I got a lever up to the front of the seat here, and this works that shifting mechanism. So right now we're in forward, go over to here, and we're in reverse. And then all this needs to be secured. So I'm going to get busy getting that seat out of there, and then finish up everything I need to do. As you can see here, seat mounts are welded to the frame, but I'm going to patch up those holes. So a little bit of fabrication work after I get the seat pulled out of there. So I'm going to get busy working on that, and I'll bring you back. Let's get this floor finished. See you in a bit. Well, hey guys, welcome back here. I took out the seat, and one thing I noticed underneath the floor here was that where I welded on all the braking apparatus there, the parking brake and the hydraulic brake, all that bracketry there, it created a bow in the floor, which is not going to come down. So what I did was I drilled and I ran these bolts through. So now through this center structure, it's tight all the way to here. Now I can go ahead and I'm going to put a clamp on that, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to weld it all tight on the center first, and then work my way out to the tubing, the round tubing chassis. So I'm going to get busy doing that, and yeah, let's get this floor secured. Not a lot of fun left-handed. I poked a couple of holes through. I can repair those from the top, but yeah, I can say this floor is now secured to the middle there. So let's get on top where work will be easier. All right, I got to do a little cutting here on this edge here. I'm going to cut about 3/4 of an inch off all the way across, and then I'm going to mount all this, the brakes, throttle tube, all this stuff. And I got a little carried away with some of the cutting here on the seat mounts, so I'm going to repair that damage and make that all tight, because I don't want water coming up from underneath, because we're going to lay down a I think my son called it some kind of boat carpeting. It's a carpeting that's has an adhesive to it, so we can peel the back and lay it right down onto the floor there. So that'll make a really nice floor in there. But I want to make it all watertight from underneath there, so I got to fix those big holes. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, now that floor ends up at the apex of the tubing there. Not going to be any sharp edges hanging out over the edge there. So I'll be able to run a bead right on top of the tubing there and secure that floor. So that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to get to a little bit of welding and let's get this buttoned up. All right, guys, well, I got the floor pretty much welded down to the frame. Now I don't have to weld it all the way across, but a good inch and a half tack periodically is going to hold it down. And then the seat mounts, as you can see, are all buttoned up. I'm going to go ahead and do the front and the back off camera, but it's just going to be more of the same. But yeah, these are all sealed up. I can clean them up with a little flappy disc, make it look pretty. But yeah, this floor, that baby is down. All right, I'll be back in just a little bit. We'll see you later.
Have a good one.
You too. Have a good night. All right, guys, now I'm gonna go ahead and shoot some screws through the brakes. Let's see, probably run that to the inside. That's the, uses brake line here for the throttle cable. This one here, I got to mount this, so let me get the drill out, drill some holes and mount that so it's not all wobbly like that. This is gonna have to go on top of the seat mount there, because the seat mount, it takes up some room. So unless I undo that, now why don't I undo that all the way from back there and actually bring it underneath the seat there? That'll work out better. It'll be easier to do it on that side. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Undo the throttle cable from the gas pedal there, and then route that to the inside here, and then the seat mounts won't affect it at all. This guy here, this has to you know, there's a cable inside there. Have to be able to pull it easy, so I can't kink that at all. That's for the parking brake. So, and this is new here. This is, right now we're in forward. Bring that all the way over, and that'll be reverse, forward, actually neutral, and then reverse all the way under here. I made this line here because that's the edge of the seat, so I had to know where the seat ended up there when I fabricated this all up. So yeah, that's all good. That all works fine. So the final part of today's work is going to get these cables out of the way here. So let me get to work on that, and I'll be right back. Well guys, that's it for today. I got the floor all mounted down good, and it's not going anywhere. It's welded to the structure underneath there. Seat mounts are all welded in, so they're gonna hang on to that seat good and tight. And let me show you something that I did do yesterday. Now, the story is that well, I started this thing up and I went to take it for a drive, and the clutch is engaging at way too low of an RPM. So like, even when you back off the throttle, you're still engaged, which is kind of a problem. And the brakes are weak. They were weak. Now what I did, and let me tell you something about humans. They came up with two of the first machines that they came up with were the wheel and leverage. So, and I think I should have consulted maybe with the caveman about this, because in order for me to stop these wheels, I had to increase leverage. Now if you see up here, this is where this fulcrum here was mounted, all the way up here, and the pivot point for the slave cylinder was all the way down here. And I'll put a little pic in the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But basically, the fulcrum was about halfway, well, or the pivot point here, master cylinder, was about halfway down this rod here. Okay, well, that doesn't give me much leverage when it comes to producing any kind of hydraulic pressure. It's like whatever I can with my foot is what you get. So after looking at a couple of other brake pedals, like over here on, well, let's go look at Frankenbuggy here. I looked at this, it's like, well, this would sure make a lot of sense to increase the leverage here, because here you got the fulcrum here and the master cylinder here, which is only like 2 inches. So I kind of mimicked that on what I did there yesterday. Now the other day I started up and I jumped in it and I hit the gas. Well, it took off like a bat out of hell, which is a good thing. I know it runs. But I made this corner and I headed straight towards my nursery plants there, standing on the brake pedal. it wasn't gonna stop. So hit the little kill switch here, killed the motor, which disengaged the clutch. See, that's an awfully bad combination. You have a clutch that doesn't disengage and brakes that don't work, and frankly a little hot rod that wants to haul ass. So learn my lesson real quick. I need to improve the brakes, and I got to do something about a clutch. So yesterday I improved the brakes. This now will lock up the front wheels, and I still have got to work on this back system here. One thing I want to do is I want to try to inject some WD-40 in there to ease up the mechanics of that. Get a little lubrication in there and it'll pull better. But also the the brake shoes on these they're shot, so I can't even really adjust these right. I gotta get new brake shoes, and I gotta get a new clutch, one that will actually disengage at low RPM. So still a couple of problems to solve, but I tell you what, it sure was fun to take my little rip over here, and until I almost took out my nursery over there. Yeah, so anyways, a little bit more work to do on the old golf cart project, but for today we got the floor down. Yesterday the brakes are better. Back brakes still need work, and this clutch, I mean, it slams over and engages at very low RPM. Yeah, it's a piece of you know what. So we're gonna end up getting a new clutch and the brake pads, and then this thing should be ready to rip. I mean, one thing also, the switching from gears here, you got forward here, neutral, and then reverse. Well, as long as this pulley here is turning, you're not going to be changing any gears inside the gearbox there. There are no synchros in there, it's just straight gears, and so that's another problem with that clutch not disengaging. So those are a must. New clutch, brake pads, so we can go, we can stop, and we can go in reverse. So anyways, that's where we're at with the golf cart. Keep plugging along until it's ready to rip. But yeah, it rips, but we need the other parts of the equation to be working. So everyone, hey, thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna put the seat in here tomorrow, and maybe I'll take you for a rip with no brakes. We'll see. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.